beading class here on this Thursday morning. It is 9 a.m. Pacific where I am. I'm in the Los Angeles area, so I'm on the West Coast. So good morning or good afternoon wherever you are joining us from. And I see we have Michelle here helping us in the background, which is awesome. So Michelle is also a jewelry designer, so not only can she help with links and technical questions, she's really good with the technical questions, but she can also help with design questions as well. And Thaisa is here as well. Hello, you guys. Thank you. So today we're going to work on whimsical earrings using leaves, flowers, and petals. So a lot of the beads I'm going to use, we actually are the same ones that I used in the Timeless Wonders show last week. And so I'm going to give you an example of like this really pretty kind of flirty, petally earring. Because we had some questions about how would you use these, and there's some of the kind of unusual shapes. So I wanted to show how you could use them. Oh, hello, Marianne and Tracy. Hello. Well, the kids are back at school, so thank you for asking, Tracy. My voice is still a little off, but I think we're on that upward swing. So thank you. Yeah, the whole family was knocked out for about 4 days. Just that time of year. Oh, I see Jane is here, and Connie and BB. And Marianne, thank you. Yes, I have a little bit of a cold. Linda, hello. Rain, Kara, hello. Millie, good morning. I'm kind of excited to show this earring like this because it doesn't look the same laying flat on my beading table. So yes, we are going to make this earring here using those really big, wonderful petal beads. And then we're going to make 3 other pairs of earrings using some different flowers and petals and leaves. So that'll be a lot of fun. Twix was really good at getting the kids back to school. She was our nurse, Twix. She was great. She just kept going from the sickest person to the sickest person. And then she is sleeping with my husband right now. Well, he's not sleeping. He is working, but she is in with him in his office. So I don't know if we'll see her today. Oh, thank you, Marianne. Oh, yay. I love it, Linda. They're really easy to make too, but it's going to be a fun little connection method. I see Janet is here as well. Hello. And Monica from Rhode Island. Hello. So I wanted to kind of make a note about something before I begin because I knew that this time would come. So if you've been shopping on the Beadaholique website, you've probably noticed a lot is out of stock. So the discount did increase to 50% off. And I was really surprised how quickly things sold out. So I personally had a bunch of stuff in my shopping cart and I left it for a day and I came back and things were gone. So a lot of the tools and the findings that I'm going to be using in the show today are out of stock already. And I'm sorry. I knew this would happen as we progress with the closing sale. Oh, hello, Netta and Kathleen and Beth. And Pat, hello. So what I tried to do when making this show today is all of the beads were in stock when I made the show. So the petals, the leaves, those things that are harder to find are in stock. At least they were in stock as of yesterday. But hopefully you have at home already some head pins, some jump rings, some earring hooks. You've got your tools. So you'll hopefully be able to still do the designs, or if you're missing a piece, it's an easier to find piece versus those really hard to find, like these petal earrings. It's gonna be harder to find the petal, which is currently in stock or was in stock as of yesterday, than the jump ring. So I just wanted to do a quick note about that because I knew that would happen at some point as the inventory dwindles down. I'll give the best advice I can on which gauge jump ring to use or head pin or something like that. But I'm going to try to always do the shows where the kind of the core beading supply is in stock is what I'll keep striving for. Or I'll start to do more technique-based shows like bead embroidery, which is more of a generalized technique. Or I know we wanted to also do that show on advanced bead weaving stitches, things like that, where it doesn't really matter if there's a supply in stock or not. So a quick note on that before we begin. I just wanted to kind of share that information because I know I always try to have everything in stock. And I know with this show here, there's not. And going forward, there's going to be a lot of situations like that. Okay. And then, Oh, Tracy. Okay, so Tracy, good call. So Tracy just asked, can you mention what we discovered? So we did discover that after last week's live, there was a glitch on the Beadaholique website where some prices increased. And it was an app that we use to run the pricing to get that discount across the board, because we have 25,000 SKUs. So someone can't just go in and mark each one down. It has to be like an app. The app glitched and some prices went up. And then what happened was a lot of people reached out to me personally, and then said, Julie, can you look into this? And since I don't have access to any of that, I emailed people who do have access. They looked into it and they reran the program and it fixed it. So if anyone ever notices anything wrong on the Beadaholique website, please reach out to service@beadaholique.com. And so we can take care of it, because I think we as the community have a lot of eyes on the front of the website, and then the people who work behind the scenes don't always see the same stuff, because we're there shopping the website, we're looking and we notice things. So it's great if we can be their eyes and flag anything, if anything ever glitches again. So just a quick note on that. But yes, please, if you ever have any issues, if you ever see anything, please reach out to our really wonderful customer service team at service@beadaholique.com, and they can then help with that. So yeah, and Michelle is also saying that as well. So thank you for mentioning that, Tracy, and thank you for those who reached out, because it was so helpful to get that corrected quickly. So we really appreciate everyone's patience and being able to help us do that. So that was wonderful. All right, I am almost ready to start the show. As always, please let me know. Oh, Lydia, maybe that's what happened with the Canadian dollar prices being off as well. Yeah, it could very well be. I mean, technology is never perfect. I think we all experience that a lot. And it seems like this holiday season, like major websites have been having really big problems. So yeah, definitely, if something isn't seeming right to you, send an email. Like, for sure. So like Lydia, like the Canadian dollar, like it not translating right for some reason on the website, send an email, get some help with it. Unfortunately, I'm not in control of any of that, and I don't have access to any of that. Like I actually don't have access to the back end. But there are people who do, and they can be reached with the service@beadaholique.com email. So perfect. Oh, thank you. Yes. And thank you. Like Thaisa is saying, and thank you guys for sharing all that information with the team as well. All right. Oh my gosh. I see Linda is saying she was in Providence Monday warehouse shopping. That is my dream. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've always wanted to go warehouse shopping in Providence. That sounds so fun. Okay. We have fun today. We are going to make these earrings. I have preloaded everything that I could into that shopping bag icon. So if there's anything you like, it should be in there, and you add it to your shopping cart right from there. I do recommend checking out quickly if there's something you like, because like I said, my personal shopping bag, I left it for a day and half was gone. So just that note, this kind of getting into that crazy time here with the closing down of the website. But as always, the videos will always be available. They'll always be saved and archived. The YouTube channel will always be available. So even when the website shuts down, the YouTube channel will still be up. These videos are on YouTube as well, so they will still survive as well, which is really great. But if you want anything off the website, download those free patterns, download the graph paper, download the project pages, download technique guides, anything you want, all that free content, I would get it sooner than later. I don't personally know of when the exact closing date is, but I think we can all kind of tell things are progressing. So please go ahead and download anything that you want off the Beadaholique website, pictures, anything you want, download them while you can. All right, and then, yay, Francie, you're getting out of the hospital. I read that as I was talking. Congratulations. That is wonderful, just in time for Christmas. Oh no, Anna, there's a delay with my voice. Try leaving the live and coming back in. That usually resets it. Hopefully it will. All right, so I am going to flip my camera down and we are going to start designing today. Okay, here we go. I had to think there for a second that I didn't accidentally disconnect us. Okay. The other quick reminders, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, you're watching this, I don't think anyone is looking at those comments today. So pop on over here to beadaholique.com so that you can comment live and get your comments answered and seen. So just a quick note on that. And I'm going to show you the earrings we're going to make today. So let me show you up close the one I showed you first. So I did also kind of enjoy the fact that during the process of making these, I get to show you a couple kind of interesting wire wrapping techniques. So for these are these petals. And I think when we were looking at them during the Timeless Wonders show, we were talking about like, how do you make them face forward? Because you get them on a strand like this. And so I was able to do it with just a simple head pin, and then I connected them with jump rings. But these are just kind of these fun dangly earrings with all of these big, beautiful petals. And then I added one extra little rondelle right there as just a final touch. Then these beads here were fun. So these are those little button flowers. And I did a different little figure 8 wire wrapping technique with them as well. And that will be fun to teach as well. So that's a new technique we'll look at. And then I just kind of enjoyed making this little fun shape with these big green beads, which I love, love, love. And then that's going to be that one. Super simple here. This is kind of in contrast to some of these a little bit more elaborate. Just a little length of chain and some really pretty kind of rose goldy colored coppery leaves and a little rondelle as well. And then this one I love because I had to use this. So if you remember this from that show too, the colors on this were amazing. They're very like peacocky. And so I was like, I have to use this. So this is a simple little design. It's basically like 3 little tulips facing upwards or 3 little cups. I kind of was imagining like little fairy cups. I don't know. I was kind of having fun with the imagination on this one. And then I added a pretty little rondelle in there. So this one was really easy to do as well. Oh, hello, Rhett. Good morning from San Diego. Hello. I'm going to be down there maybe next week, close to San Diego. I'm going to be in Carlsbad. All right. So those are the earrings we're going to make. And then I didn't make this into an earring, but I was just kind of messing around. This was kind of fun to do with one of these cushion rounds. It's just 2 of those petally beads on one on each side on a head pin. So that was really fun. I don't know. I just liked the colors together. I wasn't sure what I would do with it, but I was like, oh, that's cute. So I'll show that. All right, so let's go ahead and start with just the easiest, and then we're gonna work our way up. So this is using antique copper. So the items that we don't have in stock, unfortunately, are the earring hook, the chain, and the head pin. We do have the beads. So find yourself a pretty little piece of chain. Maybe you've already got some. This would be a great use for any scrap chain as well. Oh, hello, LJ. Sunny Texas, I like it. So you're going to cut yourself a little bit of chain. So I've got my chain here, and so I'm going to make it match. So for this particular one, this was like a chain with big ovals and small ovals, and I wanted 2 completely intact big ovals, and then I wanted to cut the 3rd one. But this is why if you do a lot of projects with chain, you always keep your its and bits, because this is not a lot of length, but you are able to use it in an earring project. All right, so these, I'm going to take 2 of these leaves. This is what the strand looks like right here. And I'm just going to take 2 of them, and then I'm going to do one of these pretty sparkly rondelles. I'm going to use this in a couple designs today because I really liked these. These are just so, so pretty. So I'm just going to grab one of them, and we're going to grab a head pin. So this is just a 2-inch antique copper head pin. And we're going to put that on. And we're going to put a little sparkly rondelle in the middle. We're going to now put on another leaf. So we've got these two right here, and now we're going to create a loop. Make our little loop. Oh, thank you, Francie. I had fun. Well, I had fun shopping for that Timeless Wonders show. And then these are the beads that really called out to me from that show. And then I happened to notice there was a theme that they were all like leaves and petals. So I was like, okay, I'm doing a whimsical jewelry show because it's so much fun. So I don't think any of the findings are available, Anna. I'm so sorry. I cannot believe how fast all the findings seem to have sold out. So I don't know if people were like waiting to see if the discount would increase. And then once it did, they just ordered in bulk, like ordered a lot of them. But I noticed there's very, very few findings left. So I will try my best to tell you what I'm using. So maybe you have it on hand or you can find it elsewhere. So this was a 2-inch head pin in antique copper. You can use 21, 22, 24 gauge, whatever you like. The 2-inch is the important one. So, and then for here, once you've got this on here, really easy to finish off. We just have to add the earring hook. And this is just an antique copper earring hook. Yeah, I think going forward when we do these shows, we're kind of going to have a similar situation where it seems like the findings and the tools will probably not be in stock, but I will try my best to only use beads that are in stock if I can, or we'll just focus on techniques. So we'll focus on wire wrapping techniques or bead weaving techniques or embroidery techniques, things like that. All right, so there's this earring. So it's all done. So this is a really quick, easy, very pretty pair of earrings. And of course, there's other colors of these leaves. I pulled out this turquoise one that I thought was really pretty too. So you can pick your favorite color of your leaf as well, and then be able to make it. But I thought this antique copper with the kind of golden, rosy gold colors were pretty. Hello, Ellen. Okay. Oh, good, Linda. I'm glad techniques would be helpful. And okay, good. Because yeah, I was trying to think, it's like, I want to do projects still, but I want to make sure that the main beads for the projects are available. And then if we ever get to the point where they're not, what we can do is we can kind of pivot to techniques. Yes, you can, Lydia. Absolutely. You can take, you can make a cute little, so like she just asked if you don't have a head pin, but you've got wire, what can you do? Like you make it into a head pin. I think it flew by the comment, but what you could do, let's pretend that this is a piece of wire. Let's say you've got wire, but you don't have a head pin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the corner. And this is a way of making like a cute little decorative head pin. So you just make like a little loop. And then I like to make like a little spiral. And I'm just pinching it and bending it. You would want a longer piece of wire than this to start with. But it's a way of, if you don't have a head pin, basically putting a head pin base on it that's decorative, which is the spiral. And then once you've made it the size that you like, what you can do is you just notch it back up so it stands upright. And there you've got like a cute little spiral. So you can easily do that with just cut lengths of wire. This I believe is 24 gauge. This feels really soft and thin. So I believe this one here is a 24 gauge. All right. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Let's do this one. This one is so colorful. It's just happy. So let's move on to this guy. And this is another really easy one. It uses these cool beads here. And the colors are amazing. So pretty. And each one's a little bit different, I noticed. So if you look at the strand here, some have a little bit more silver on them. Some are a little bit more purpley. Some a little bit more blue, which is fun. So for the first one, we're going to take a ball head pin. This is, I would say this is a 21 gauge. This feels pretty thick to me. So we're going to go ahead and put this on going upright. So it becomes like a little cup or like a little tulip. It's kind of how I see that one. Then the bead I'm going to be using is this guy. He should be there in the shopping bag. He's a little rondelle. He's a little gem cut rondelle. So he's a super sweet, super sparkly little guy. And we're going to put that up here and create a wrapped wire loop. So we've just got basically this cup with this little sparkly treasure in it. And we're gonna make a wrapped wire loop. I'm using wire looping pliers as always, but you can use round nose too. Oh my gosh. Santa Barbara Girl said, love the flower, put a flat disc under the flower and becomes an ice cream sundae. I'm in love with that idea. That's great. I love it. All right, so I just made a couple wraps. And trim it and tuck it. So this is our little dangly piece that we just made right there. And those colors are really pretty together, just so, so rich. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch over to eye pins. So here's little eye pins. These feel like 21 gauge as well, maybe 22. So these are little eye pins. So we're just gonna open up our eye pin here. Slip on our little wrapped wire loop. Close it on up. So we've got that little dangle. And now we're gonna add another little flower going upright again. So we're basically building it. And what I just realized these also look like, you know those rain catchers that you hang off your gutter? That's what these look like too. You know those long ones that catch the rain and then they make the pretty little, the little sound when the rain comes down? That's what these look like too. Excuse my cough, guys. That time of year. Okay, and then we're just gonna make a little loop. Rain bells, thank you. Oh, that would be cute with a little chain in between them too, yes. Yeah, definitely take these ideas and kind of embellish them and add to them. That would look really cute. Okay, I need to just take a little sip here. I am on the mend, but it's just got a little ways to go. All right, final one. We're gonna just do one more little eye pin. Now we could connect it first or after. It doesn't really matter, so let's just connect it up first. Here, if you wanna connect it first, just go ahead, open it up, slide it on. Okay, and we're gonna do one more of these little pretty rondelles. Oh, that's a good idea, Tracy. Yeah, I have been having some nice like hot water, but adding some honey sounds good in tea. I know lemon tea is supposed to be really good for it as well. All right, our final little loop. We're gonna trim that. And we'll just straighten it up really quick, and then all we have to do is add an earring hook. So there is our pretty little rain bells. And we're gonna add an earring hook. And close it. And here we go. So that is our little earring set, and it looks so cute as a set. Yes, lemon ginger, take your vitamins. Absolutely, you guys. Oh my goodness, is that time of year. And I think even once this goes away, I got to make sure I keep taking my vitamins and drinking tea just to ward off any future bugs. Emergency, yes, we've been doing that. And then those gummies too, those like airborne gummies as well. All right, so here you go. So that's our second pair of pretty little whimsical earrings. So let's do this one next. Now we're going to get into the interesting wire wrapping techniques. So what I wanted to do is I kind of had a vision for this earring, and I wanted these guys to dangle. And at first I tried jump rings, and I couldn't really get a jump ring through it. So here is what I came up with. I made these little figure eights. So I've got a head pin, 2 inches. So this is what you'll do as well. You could do wire. I would do, if you're doing wire, I would do a 22 gauge wire. I think a 24 would be easier, but it might not be as strong. So you're going to want to take the head off of the head pin. So just snip it off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these button flowers. So when you get these button flowers, they come on a strand like this, and they're so pretty. Like, I think that would just be a beautiful bracelet, but I wanted to be able to use them as dangles. And so when you take them off, this is what you've got. So you got all these pretty little button flowers, and I'm going to take one of them, and you can see where the hole is, and we're going to put the head pin through the hole to about halfway. And now we're going to bring up our wires, and we're going to crisscross. So we're just going to take our wires and we're going to cross them. Okay. Okay, so what you've got now is this. So you've got the wire crossed, you've got 2 wires poking out, and you can try to pull that down a little bit because this is what's going to anchor your little button flower in place. Now what we're going to do is you're going to see if one wire is longer than the other, because that's the one you're going to want to focus on here. So this one to me looks to be just a little bit longer. So the other one you're going to trim. You're going to trim it right where it starts to overlap. And this is why you wouldn't want to use 24 gauge wire because it might pull out. I'd do 21, 22. Okay, so that's what we've got thus far. Going to take our chain nose and we're going to put the little stick, the little wire end, and make it go upright. Just bend it like so. Now we're going to go in with our wire looping pliers, and we're going to make a loop. Okay. So you see how it's kind of made like a little figure 8, and then we're going to trim it right where it starts to overlap. And then you're going to tighten it up. So now you're going to take your pliers and make sure that those little gaps are closed. And that is now a little dangle for your earring. So I'm going to do this again because I need 3 of those. So you're going to see this technique 3 times. Oh, good, Marianne. I love that. Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. I was like, I love the button flowers, but what do I do with them? So this is what you can do with them. Okay. Again, you just got that piece of wire. You're going to bring it up. You're going to crisscross it. Kind of yank it down a little bit so you just have it like this. And let's do this one where we don't trim the first wire first, so you can just see an alternative method. Then if you do have one wire that looks to be a little bit longer than the other, work with that one. So this one to me looks a little longer. We're just going to bend it so it's upright. And now we're going to go in with our wire looping pliers or your round nose pliers. And we're going to make a little loop. So now we have 2 wires. So it actually is easier if you trim it first. But we got 2 wires kind of overlapping here. So we got to get them out of the way. So let's cut one first. And then we'll cut the next one. And as long as you're using stiff enough wire, this should hold. Okay. Yeah, I'd say trim your wire first, that first one, because it was a little harder. Oh, Thaisa, I love it. Okay, now then just straighten it up so you close your loop. And we'll do this one more time because it doesn't take long, and we want 3 little button dangles. All right, so there is our little wire figure 8 for the button flower. Oh, can you put 3 on one wire so they flip up to show their faces? I think you could if you had a longer wire to start with. So let's say you had a 3-inch head pin or you were using cut wire. I think you could definitely put multiples on it. With the 2-inch, I know I'm not going to be able to get any more than 1, but I know what you're saying. I think you could definitely do that. Just have a longer piece of wire to start with. Okay, last little guy. Okay, again, we're just going to put it to the halfway mark. Bring it up. Push it down. Okay, and this one we will trim first because it was a little harder with that wire in the way. Okay, and then gotta make this go upright. So I'm just bending it. I'm just making the wire do what I want it to do. And then we're gonna make a little loop up here. And rotate. There we go. So there you can really see it just looks like a little figure 8. And then we straighten it up. So it is important to straighten it up because it is a little bit off when you first do it, but you just go in and you go in with your chain nose and you just straighten it up and close that loop. So there is our 3rd little figure 8 one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, let's take a jump ring. So this is a 4mm jump ring, and we're going to open it up. And we're going to slip on all our little dangles that we just made. And here we go. And then we're also, before we close this up, we're going to slip on an eye pin. I totally agree, Linda. We should definitely thank Tracy for giving us that Facebook fan group. It's so nice to be able to go there, and I've been able to see everyone's pictures, and I love it, and see stories. So thank you, Tracy, for starting that. Okay, we're just closing that up. And so now we've got all those little dangles on there. So what is the thinnest gauge wire that is acceptable for open jump rings? I usually use I'll use 24 gauge. I haven't gone any thinner than 24 gauge, but I will use 24 gauge, especially for delicate work. Sometimes 24 gauge is really nice for going through small jump rings. Like if you're doing a really fancy earring maybe and it's using some 11/0 like delicas, I've used a 24 gauge jump ring to go through the delicas, which has been nice. Yes, Tracy, I can do that. It might not be right away. I have to go to an appointment after this today, but I will, by the end of today, I'll post some pictures. All right. And, oh, oops, wrong bead. Okay. So I put the little green on here, and then I was going to use one of these guys. Another one of my favorites from that Timeless Wonders show. So I'm going to put that on here, and then another green flower. And let me see what I did. Okay, so now I just need to make a little loop. So I'll just go in and make a little loop. And it is a little hard to make loops within a like flower because there's a recess right there. So it is a little bit trickier to make your loops. So sometimes I put little small like spacer beads in there to give myself a little bit more height, just so that I'm not having to go so far into the well, but you still can. But if you wanted to, you could put even a seed bead in there would help. Okay. All right, so here we go. And then we're just going to do one more little connector. So we're going to go ahead, one more of these beads onto another eye pin. You know, I saw candy too, or Christmas crackers. I also saw Christmas crackers when I did this too. I was like, oh, this shape is really interesting. Okay, so I just made a little loop on that end. All right, so now I'm going to open this loop up and we're going to slip it onto the loop we just made. Okay, so we've got that on there. And then here, all we need to do now is add an earring hook. So I just have a little earring hook. Again, I'm sorry, I know that earring hooks are out of stock. If you've got just any pretty gold earring hook, it will work. So I'm gonna just open that up. Slide it on. Close it on up. And then we have a pair of earrings. So here's our third pair of earrings. So here we go. And you can see what these guys look like. They're just really pretty little dangly. And I love, love, love the green. Let's see if I can bring my lights in a little bit. I don't know, it's a little bit shadowed. Okay. Here you go. So those are our little green earrings with our little bell flowers. Hopefully that gave everyone an idea of what to do here for the bell flowers, or the little button flowers, if you have them and didn't know how to do them. Can you show them how to make wire ear hooks? Ooh, I don't have the supplies right here to make ear hooks. I have made them in the past. Let me see what I've got, because I think the tools that are needed, let me think on that. I'm not sure if I have all the tools available anymore, but let me look. Good idea though. Okay, we are down to our final earring. So we've made 3 whimsical earrings, and I love seeing them as a pair. It was fun to do the samples up ahead of time, but there's something about seeing them all together as their pairs that's really fun. All right, so this is what started this whole show and started the project here. So what I have here, sorry, I'm trying to read the comments as we go. So the tools I feel like I would need is I would need a, what is it called? It's a wire. It's not a rounder. Maybe it's a wire rounder. It's that tool that sands the end of wire. So it's got like a little cup, and you use it for metalworking, and you basically sand down the edge of the wire, and that's the part that's going to go into your ear. So you got to make sure that you get off any little metal burrs. So I would need that, and I would need a chasing hammer and a bench block to work harden the wire. So I just have to see if I've got all of that. Burr cup. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes. And that's an important step because it is going into your ear. So you want to definitely make sure there's nothing sharp. But it's a great idea. Okay, so if we look at these, we've got all these petals, and this is how they are wire wrapped. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So that's another fun thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a new little wire wrapping technique so that we can make these guys face forward. And then the chain is just jump rings. So that's just jump rings that I use. I think they're a 5.5, which is a weird size. They're a 5.5 millimeter jump ring in antique brass. A 5 would work fine. A 6 would work fine. So if you've got a 5 or 6 at home, that would absolutely work. I am going to be using a 24 gauge head pin. Wire rounder tip. Yeah. So guys, I have wire working tools, and they are tucked in my attic somewhere. I have to go dig them out. I have to see where they are. All right, so these are these pretty petals. Such a pretty color. And so what we're going to do is there is a kind of rounded side and a more cup side, like a concave. I want this side facing forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my head pin and put it through. So that head stops it from going through. I'm just going to take my fingers, bend my wire upright. Okay, so now we've got it on the wire. You're going to see how easy this is. Now we're just going to go in with our wire looping pliers or round nose. I'm going to be a little bit above it, so there's a little bit of a gap. And I'm going to just make a loop. Like so. Hold my loop with my pliers and do a wrap or two. You don't have to do a lot on this one. You're just basically using it to secure it. So we've got that little bit of wrapping done. Oh, hi, Lauren. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. I have fun doing these videos. I do. Okay. And then just tuck your end as normal because you don't want this to snag on anything. And we just wrapped ourselves a little petal. So now what we'll be able to do is eventually we're going to attach this with jump rings. But to start, we need to make 5 of those. So you're going to see that technique on repeat here 5 times. So again, just take that head pin. Ooh, I like that, Lydia. That would be fun. Like handmade findings with wire. I like that. All right, here we go. Yes, you could absolutely do this to make your flower beads face forward, for sure. When I make the first part of the wrap, it does not have that little bend piece. Oh, yeah, I think you just have to grasp it tighter. I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, so when you go here, you give it a good squeeze. Like you hold it in place, and you give it a good squeeze to get that first bend right there. That bend is like right there. And then you hold it in place, bend it down, rotate, and pull it over. And that should give you a complete loop. So probably just squeeze it tighter. And then it hopefully it'll work. And then we're just going to do a little wrap. Okay. Second one is done. And we're going to do 5. And I like how the head pin just stops it. It's just a really nice stopper. Okay. I would definitely say try to stick with 24 gauge for this. If not 24, like 22. I feel like a 21 gauge doing this technique might be pretty hard actually because you're kind of holding it in place. It's much easier with the softer wire. So these are 24 gauge, but if you have something at home, try to do the 22, 24. Okay. And I'm only going around it basically one full time. I don't feel like the focus of this design is wire wrapping. This is more of like a vehicle to get these little petals to stay in place and face forward. So I'm just making life easy on myself by just doing that one little wrap right there. Sorry, Sue, I think there was an autocorrect in there. If you don't mind retyping your question. All right, here we go. And the last one. And wrap. And then we're going to make our pretty little earring just with jump rings. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the other dangle. I have one little dangle I'm going to do here too. Oh, can you cover how to cover cushion cut beads? Oh, do you mean like cover them in like fabric or cover them in beads? Because I can think of a couple different ways that we could cover them, which would be actually pretty fun. All right, so now we've got our head pin, same head pin that we were using, and I'm going to use this rondelle again because I just like it. It's really sparkly. And I should also mention, a lot of these beads do come in different colors. Well, Sue, yes, usually I can figure out from autocorrects what the actual intended word is. On that one, I could not tell. All right, and then I'm just making a little loop up here. And then I'm doing some little wrappies. All right, so now we're ready to assemble. So we've made all of our little components. Everything's ready to go. So we're going to grab our jump rings. Like I said, these are 5.5. And these are antique brass. Oh, yes. So if you want to see how to do this, let me show you this super fast and then we'll finish this earring because this is really, really quick and easy and cool. So this would work with any of these different colors that you've got. So these come in different colors. And then if you've got a cushion round, you can sandwich it between this, and it makes this really kind of cool shape design here. And then if you want to secure it, you just make a wrapped wire loop. And this is the only project I kind of have here with supplies to show how to use cushion rounds, but I should check the website. If we've got a lot of cushion rounds still in stock, that could be maybe just a whole future show where we just do designs with cushion rounds. If that's something that's maybe still in stock, that would be a really good show idea on what to do with them. But here's just one idea of this little medallion, almost like this. Do we have a video showing how to bezel a cabochon? Yes. There should be a YouTube video for that. We'll see if Michelle and Thaisa can locate that, but there definitely should be. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to link all of these together. So we're going to start with one jump ring, and we're just going to open it up. Going to slip on our little petal. Yeah, cushion rounds are beautiful. I think what I like best about them is that they show up so nice from a distance. Like they're just a very dramatic bead. Did we do a whole show? We might have done a show on cushion beads. I can't remember if the show was all on cushion beads. You know what? It might have been because I'm kind of remembering a picture I took of the image. So, okay, maybe there is a show already. Oh, good. Okay. So now I've got just a jump ring that's plain. Nothing's attached to it. This jump ring already has the petal attached. So I'm just going to link it through here to build out my chain. Okay, so I'm going to just set that down, open another jump ring. And this time I am going to pick up another petal. And this is why we've got all of these already made for us and waiting. And then I'm just going to link it on here. For me, it's a little bit easier if I just kind of lay it down and snag it. Close it on up. Now we're going to do another jump ring. And then we're going to go ahead and attach this. And then, so this is getting attached to the jump ring we just attached. And then what I do find helpful is to kind of hold it up to see how it's looking. Like right here. So you can see how these are kind of layering. So that extra jump ring between that's empty is what's giving this the height you need so that your petals are not sitting all on top of each other, but more layered. So here we go. I'm going to just set that down now. Now I need to do another jump ring. And we're going to pick up another one of our petals. And I'm going to link it to my little chain I'm building out here. Okay, close it on up. Okay, another jump ring. And I've always liked earrings like this. I've seen them at stores. I've seen them in magazines. These kind of pretty soft petally earrings. So I'm really glad I got to make a pair because I hadn't made a pair like this. Okay, again, I'm going to lay it down. So the reason I keep picking it up and looking at it is I just want to see how these are sitting. If anything looks off, I can adjust it, but I like how they're looking. And then I'm just going to lay it flat so I've got that jump ring ready to attach my next petal to. Yeah, very easy to wear. They're also really lightweight, which is nice too. So even though you've got a lot of beads on here, and they are bigger, because they're so thin, they're not very heavy. So these are actually pretty lightweight earrings too. Okay, so I'm just gonna snag into that jump ring. Close it. One more, what we'll call an empty jump ring here. All right, let's put that on. Yes, wait, yep. Okay, and then we're gonna attach our last petal. I wanna just look at what I did for my sample. So my last petal, okay. So we're gonna do that. Okay, let me hold it up. So this is what we've got so far. LJ, I do, and what I store them in are usually zippered bags, like Ziploc bags, just to keep them kind of sorted and fresh. And I have tins. I love tins. So like right now I've got this really amazing Danish cookie tin from Trader Joe's for the holiday season. So eventually that will become a jewelry storage tin. So I always save all my cookie tins. I love like the little French looking cookie tins. And so I tend to store them in baggies, in tins, and then sometimes in baggies, in tins, in a big plastic tub if I don't have room for them. All right, last component here. So the last component is a jump ring. We've got all of our petals attached. We're going to open the jump ring. We're going to link it onto our petals. And then what we're going to do is there seems to be a front and back just with how you lay them, because you want all your petals towards the front. So you'll kind of notice as you build this out that you have the core chain here in the back. And so I've got this is going to be the front. I'm going to slip on this final little accent piece. I'm going to just slip that onto that open jump ring. And I'm going to right now slip on my earring hook because I know that this is facing forward. So I'm going to slip on my earring hook and close it on up. And it's done. We finished it. So here is the final pair of earrings of these little whimsical designs. And I love these. These are so fun. So these are just really fun, flirty, whimsical little petal earrings. Yeah, I like the little accents too. I think that's the designer touch. Whenever I've been fortunate enough to buy like a nice piece of kind of, you know, like designer jewelry, like fancier, and it always has like just that little tiny something. I was like, oh, that just makes it extra special. So I love doing that. All right, those are our pretty flirty, petally earrings. All right, just to review for anyone who joined us a little bit later, we made this pair of earrings here. We made this pair of earrings here. We made this pair here, our little rain cups. And then we also made these earrings here. So fun earrings, a couple new techniques. So hopefully that helped as well, figuring out what to do with button flowers, what to do with petals. And then, like I said, when I started the show, all the beads were in stock. So hopefully the beads are still in stock. And the findings, you definitely sub out what findings you have at home or your earring hooks you have at home so that you can finish the designs. Oh, you think the earring hooks loop is still open? Ooh, okay. I'll go back and check that. I'll tighten everything up. It's a little hard for me to sometimes see because I'm actually looking through a camera for part of this. So I always like to go back and tighten things up. But thank you for bringing that up because I will check that one in particular. All right, I'm going to pop the camera up so we could say goodbye for today. And today is Thursday. Oh my goodness. So I'll see everyone on Monday. All right, thank you guys for joining me today. My whimsical earrings, they were fun. There was a fun challenge. Thank you for the show ideas as well. I love that. So yay, thank you guys. There's that note from Tahisa. Please, if you have anything in your shopping cart, remember to check out. Quantity is limited. So I know we all know that, but it is very true. So quantity is limited. And so have fun designing, have fun creating. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for being part of my life and this community. And I will see everybody on Monday. Have a great weekend. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Tracy. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye, Mimi. Bye, Marianne. Thank you. Hopefully by Monday, my voice will be good. Bye, Santa Barbara Girl Pat.